Alright, so we're going to do tub bearings on a Bravos XL. This is the same for the Whirlpool Cabrio and every washer that has a floating tub. You can tell if it has a floating tub because you can actually grab that tub and pull up on it. It'll go up and down. So we're going to go into diagnostics mode. Pick a button. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And hit it again. Alright, now we're going to whitest whites. Where's it at? Where's it at? Yeah, hit start. Wash temp. We're going to do warm just so it fills up faster. We're going to put enough water in there that the tub floats. That would be just over the top of the agitator plate, which is out over there. And so I'm going to run some water in here. I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. We got a bunch of water in there. The tub's floating. The whole reason I'm doing this is because this washer design is great until it comes time to take it apart. I should be able to just grab this whole thing with the wash plate out and it come up out of there, but it doesn't want to because there's a little bit of corrosion on that drive shaft and the clearance is really tight. So what I do is I got it full of water, tub's trying to float. We're gonna go over here and hit soil level 3 times. And what that does is it puts the machine into its heaviest agitation. And then what we're gonna do is just pull up on it. And just let that drive shaft work back and forth. Push down on it, up and down. It's a lot easier with 2 hands. I'm doing this for video's sake. Push down on it. Up and down. See a bunch of black crap coming out of there. And I'm gonna set the camera down and do this with one hand, with both of my hands. Pulling up, push down, put it up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like hanging on to a pissed off bull. You have to do this on heavy agitation or the error code will come up with overloaded machine. So you got to push that button 3 times. I've actually had these so bad it takes me and another person pulling up and doing this. So set the camera down and get it out. Alright, so this one's really putting up a fight. So I'm going to drain the water out, remove these Phillips screws, and remove this hub. That'll give me a lot more up and down play. Less stuff to worry about. I put a towel in here because you got a bunch of holes and you don't want your screws falling out and going down in there. Wouldn't be the end of the world because this is hopefully going to come out of there anyway, but when you're going back together, you definitely want to put that towel down there. You don't want to have to take this thing apart and go fishing out screws. Alright, so taking this out, that's what locks the tub to the drive shaft for the spin cycle. So taking that out allows me to push way down further on it without it engaging the drive shaft because the coupling's out. So I can go way down, way up. Like I said, this is pretty hard to do with one hand. You see all the black crap coming out of there? Up and down. Once again, I'm going to set the camera down so I can get both hands in there. Alright, as soon as I set the camera down, it's ready to come over there. And that's the easy way of doing it. The other way is to take the motor and stuff apart and beat it all out with the drive shaft stuck in it, take it outside, beat the drive shaft out of the tub with a hammer. This just makes the whole process a lot easier. You're actually using the machine to help you take it apart. Alright, so I remove the stator motor cover. With my impact, it's a lot easier. They typically are very tight. This is a quarter. And now I'm about to remove the rest of the motor. You see it's got like 4 bolts up there, and that socket is going to be 3/8. All right, so zipped out the motor bolts. You're gonna have, this is powering the motor. It pops off there real easy. You're also gonna have this sensor that tells the computer when the motor is moving, and it's just gonna lock in these little tabs right here. Little tab right here, little tab right here. The way you get that off is you get on a little flathead screwdriver. It's right there and right there, and that'll pop off. You want to make sure you put this guy somewhere safe out of the way. If you damage that, knock the coating off of those wires, you're probably gonna have to buy a new motor. So put that in a safe place. All right, so I got the old bearings out. I'm not gonna touch base on every single thing. There's lots of videos for this, but this goes in first, and then this goes in, and then your bearing goes in, and you got to make sure that these are all lined up perfectly. So what I like to do is I'll tap them in there, and right before everything's good and snug, I actually take the old drive shaft and I stick it down through the top, and that keeps everything in line, and then I'll just tap around it with my hammer until I get the bearing fully seated in there. I got my old drive shaft in. That up there. Everything's nice, and everything's nice and tight and spins together. Alright. Ta-da. All right, we're back in. We're back in the computer diagnostic. We are going to lock the lid, and we're going to put it into a high-speed spin for testing phases. There's some glue in there that's got to dry. All that nasty crap for the tub seal. I don't want to put any water on that, so what I like to do is just a high-speed test. Boom, 3 times on spin speed. I just want to make sure that nothing's touching anything down there, nothing's dragging, no crazy noises. Once again, I'm not going to touch base on everything on here. I try to touch base on a couple of the important things. I beat the bearings out with this metal beat stick and this hammer. Old bearings, old drive shaft bearings.